She had a plane ticket. She had a plan. But the airport never saw her walk in. Now her house is a crime scene. Her roommates are under police scrutiny and Pheobe Bishop is missing. 17-year-old Pheobe Bishop was supposed to board a flight from Bundaberg to Perth on the morning of May 15, 2025. She had packed her bags, told people she was leaving, and even texted friends how excited she was to escape what she called her house. According to her two adult housemates, they drove her to the airport and dropped her off. But there's one massive problem with that story. CCTV footage confirms she never entered the terminal. Not at any entrance, not at any time. No boarding, no check-in, no airport staff saw her. And within days, what started as a missing person report turned into a full-blown criminal investigation. Pheobe's phone has been silent since that morning, her social media dead, and the people who last claimed to see her, they're now being questioned after police raided their home, seized their car, and found weapons that led to an unrelated arrest. This isn't just a teenage runaway story. This is something far darker. And right now, nobody knows where Pheobe is or what really happened the morning she disappeared. Pheobe Bishop wasn't some anonymous face in the crowd. She was a 17-year-old girl from Queensland with plans, personality, and people who loved her. According to her family and friends, Pheobe was independent but deeply connected to the people in her life. She had been living with two adult housemates in a rental property in Gin Gin, a small town outside Bundaberg, and although her living situation wasn't ideal, she had reportedly complained about it. She had big plans for change. She had recently reconnected with her boyfriend in Perth. On May 15th, she was scheduled to fly out to visit him. Her family said she was excited about the trip. She packed her bags, spoke with friends, and even messaged someone saying, "Can't wait to get out of this SHT house." This wasn't a girl planning to run away and disappear. This was someone preparing for a visit with a confirmed flight booking, a clear plan, and every intention of staying in touch. Her mother told reporters that Pheobe would never vanish voluntarily and that something must have gone terribly wrong. The idea that Pheobe would just walk away from everything, from the life she was trying to rebuild, doesn't line up with anything she told the people around her. She didn't take her phone. She didn't take her ID. She didn't board the flight. And she never made it to Perth. To her family, friends, and now law enforcement, this isn't a disappearance. It's a red flag. It was Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Pheobe Bishop was scheduled to fly from Bundaberg Airport to Perth, Western Australia. Her boyfriend was expecting her. Her bags were packed, and according to her two housemates, 33-year-old Tanika Kristen Bromley and a man named James Wood, they drove her to the airport that morning. They told police they dropped her off outside the terminal around 8:30 in the morning and watched her walk toward the building with her luggage. But here's where everything begins to unravel. When police pulled the CCTV footage from Bundaberg Airport, there was no sign of her. No entry, no check-in, no boarding, no camera inside or outside caught any glimpse of Pheobe Bishop that day. Bundaberg Airport is small, with limited entry points and tight surveillance. If she walked in, she would have been seen, but she wasn't. Her flight left without her. And from that moment forward, no one has seen or heard from her again. That same day, her phone went dark. No texts, no calls. Her social media stopped. She missed her flight. She didn't check in with her boyfriend. And her family, who says she always stayed in contact, started to panic. By that evening, Pheobe was reported missing. And over the next few days, this wasn't just a missing teen case anymore. The people who claimed to have dropped her off were now at the center of something much bigger and much darker. Once police realized Pheobe Bishop had never entered the airport, the case escalated from a routine missing persons file to a suspicious disappearance, and investigators turned their attention back to the place she was last confirmed to be, her home in Gin Gin. Within days, police seized the house Pheobe had been living in with Tanika Bromley and James Wood. It wasn't a typical suburban home. It was run down, isolated, and now crawling with forensic investigators. Officers cordoned off the property, brought in cadaver dogs, and began processing it as a potential crime scene. But it didn't stop there. The car the housemates claimed they used to drive her to the airport also seized, and when police searched it, they found something chilling. A sawn-off shotgun, ammunition, and several replica firearms were discovered inside the vehicle. That led to the immediate arrest of Tanika Bromley, not on charges related to Pheobe's disappearance, but on firearms offenses. She was taken into custody and later appeared in court. Her male housemate, James Wood, showed up for her hearing but refused to answer any questions from the media about Pheobe or what happened that morning. Meanwhile, police intensified their efforts. Acting on investigative leads, they launched a large-scale search of Goodnight Scrub National Park, a vast, remote area filled with thick bushland. Divers combed waterholes. Cadaver dogs searched trails. Investigators said they were looking for any clue of phone, clothing, luggage, remains. Then came another disturbing update. Police stated that some evidence might have been moved after Pheobe vanished. That's not just strange, that suggests someone may be actively hiding something. So now the investigation had split in two. One track focused on finding Pheobe, the other on uncovering what her housemates may know and whether this was a planned disappearance or something far more sinister. While the search for Pheobe Bishop intensified across the bushland and waterways of rural Queensland, the attention on her two housemates, Tanika Bromley and James Wood, grew even sharper. Let's start with what the police actually found. Inside the car the pair claimed to have used to drive Pheobe to the airport, officers discovered a sawn-off shotgun, live ammunition, and several replica weapons. The moment that evidence surfaced, Tanika Kristen Bromley was arrested and charged with serious firearms offenses. She was quickly brought before the Bundaberg Magistrates Court, where she was denied bail due to the risk she might interfere with the ongoing disappearance investigation. The prosecution argued that her continued freedom could compromise the case. And it doesn't end there. When her house was searched, police reportedly found more weapons and what they called items of interest. These weren't minor discoveries, these were serious violations, especially in a case already clouded with suspicion. Outside the courtroom, reporters pressed Bromley's housemate, James Wood, for answers. He appeared at her hearing but refused to speak about Pheobe's disappearance. No denial, no defense, just silence. Meanwhile, police confirmed that the home was still under forensic investigation and that both individuals remained persons of interest in what was now officially described as a suspicious missing person case. And here's the most troubling part. Despite the arrest, no one has been charged in relation to Pheobe's disappearance. But the lies, the guns, the timeline inconsistencies, and the missing CCTV, they all point to a story that doesn't add up. Whatever happened that morning, whatever was said or done, someone isn't telling the whole truth. At this point in the investigation, it's not just the lack of evidence that's disturbing, it's the contradictions, the loose ends, the things that make you stop and ask, how is this even possible? Let's break it down. First, the housemates say they dropped her at the airport, but CCTV never shows her arriving. Bundaberg Airport is small. There are limited entry points and clear visibility. Police have reviewed the footage and Pheobe never walked in, so either the cameras failed or she never got there. Second, Pheobe had a legitimate flight booked. She was expected in Perth by her boyfriend. She was excited to go. Why would she make plans, pack, and say goodbye only to vanish without boarding? Third, her phone stopped working the same morning she disappeared. No outgoing calls, no texts, no activity, and it hasn't been turned on since. Fourth, the housemate's car allegedly used to drop her off is found to contain a sawn-off shotgun, live ammo, and replica guns. Why? What were they doing with those? And more importantly, why was this never mentioned when they first spoke to police? Fifth, police believe that evidence may have been moved after Pheobe disappeared. That strongly suggests someone tampered with the scene, which means either Pheobe met with foul play or someone's covering something up. All of this raises massive questions. Did Pheobe ever leave the house alive? Was the airport story a cover-up from the start? Why were the housemates armed, and what were they afraid of? Could Pheobe have been planning to run but got caught trying to escape? Or did she trust the wrong people and never made it out? Police haven't publicly pointed fingers, but the public is connecting the dots, and right now those dots lead back to one place: the house where she lived and the two people who were supposedly helping her get to the airport. There are no witnesses, no footage, no confirmed sightings. Just a missing girl, a tangled story, and a trail that keeps getting darker. As the days passed and Pheobe Bishop remained missing, the tone of the investigation shifted. What started as a possible runaway was now firmly classified by Queensland police as a suspicious disappearance. And behind that word suspicious was a growing sense that something terrible had happened. The lead investigators made several public appeals stating they were deeply concerned for Pheobe's welfare. They confirmed that forensic examinations were underway and that cadaver dogs, divers, and specialist teams were actively searching areas of interest, including Goodnight Scrub National Park, a remote wilderness not far from where she lived. Police revealed that some items linked to Pheobe had been found, but didn't disclose what those items were. They did say the items had been moved after her disappearance, suggesting interference or an attempt to mislead investigators. Meanwhile, her family was growing more desperate and more vocal. Her mother, through tears, spoke to the media. "My daughter would never leave without telling me. She's not like that. She had plans. She was excited. She wanted to leave that house, but she didn't want to disappear. Someone knows where she is, and I want her back." Her boyfriend in Perth confirmed they were expecting to see each other. He hadn't heard from her since the day she was supposed to arrive and said she had made no mention of changing plans. In a powerful moment during one of the media interviews, police stated, "We need help from the public. Someone knows what happened to Pheobe. Maybe they think it's small. Maybe they think it's nothing. But that one piece of information could be what brings her home." But despite the searches, the arrests on unrelated charges, and the national headlines, there's still no sign of Pheobe. And for her family, each day without news is its own kind of torment. As of now, Pheobe Bishop is still missing. It's been nearly 2 weeks since she was last seen, and despite intense public interest, police resources, and media pressure, there has been no confirmed sighting, no arrest in connection to her disappearance, and no breakthrough. The investigation remains active and ongoing. The house she lived in, once just a shared rental in Gin Gin, is still being processed by forensic teams. Police are reportedly analyzing physical evidence, including items recovered during their search of Goodnight Scrub National Park. They've also confirmed that digital forensic teams are reviewing phone records, location data, and social media activity in a bid to recreate Pheobe's final hours. Tanika Kristen Bromley, arrested on unrelated firearms charges, remains in custody. James Wood, her co-tenant and the last person known to be with Pheobe, has not been charged with any crime, but his silence in court and in public has only deepened suspicions. Meanwhile, the pressure is building. Queensland police have asked anyone who may have seen Pheobe or anyone with dashcam footage near Bundaberg Airport between 7 and 9 that morning to come forward. They believe someone somewhere saw something, and that one detail, small as it may seem, could crack this case wide open. But until that happens, we're left with more questions than answers. Where is Pheobe Bishop? Did she vanish willingly, or was she stopped before she ever had the chance to run? What really happened in that house the morning of May 15th? And how far are some people willing to go to make sure no one finds out? Because one thing is certain, someone knows the truth. And until that truth comes out, Pheobe Bishop remains another name, another face, another family waiting in silence for a knock at the door. If you have any information about the disappearance of Pheobe Bishop, please contact Queensland Police or Crime Stoppers. Every tip matters. Let us know in the comments, what do you think happened? Did she plan to vanish, or did someone make her vanish, and why? This case is still unfolding. Subscribe for updates as the investigation develops and help us keep the pressure on. Pheobe deserves to be found.